So, wir sind jetzt noch ein kleines, aber hoffentlich sehr feines Publikum. Es geht auf den Nachmittag zu, man merkt es so langsam. Wir haben jetzt für heute unseren letzten internationalen Beitrag hier auf dieser Bühne. Wir waren heute Morgen thematisch im Baltikum, wir waren in Dänemark, wir waren in der Schweiz, in der Türkei und jetzt geht es rüber nach Schweden. Deswegen switchen wir nochmal in die englische Sprache. Wer von Ihnen möchte, kann es sich auf Deutsch simultan übersetzen lassen. Sie müssten dafür die QR-Codes scannen, die Sie dort auf diesen Ausstellern hinter sich finden. So, we switch to English now. And let me welcome Mats Pettersson. He is CTO at Sensative. Sensative is a Swedish company building data platforms for smart cities, and now you bring your solution to Germany. Europe leads, or others will, building Europe's digital future. Welcome, Mats. Stage is yours.
Do you hear me? Yes, now I hear myself. All right. When I was out there, it was pretty noisy, so please come forward. We're not so many in here right now. Right from start. Okay, look. Something happened a year ago. And we suddenly, in Europe and in Sweden, in Germany, we started to think about who are we using to build our cities, our critical infrastructure in cities. For many years, we have been a little bit concerned about using Chinese. Still, we have a lot of Chinese solar panels, windmills, access systems. Suddenly, we realized that we need probably to be a little bit concerned about who we ask to manage our data. American platforms all over. Microsoft Azure, Google, or Amazon. I've been walking around here today, and I see loads of companies in here now starting to talk about sovereignty. That makes me happy. That's the first time, actually, I'm in a place like this where we are concerned about who are using or who has access to our data. Sensative started to develop a smart city data platform 2014. And we developed it from start to be a sovereign platform. Not because we were afraid about the Americans, but because we actually thought that the data belongs to the owner of a city, not to the service provider. Already 2021, we were awarded by Frost & Sullivan to be Europe's most innovative IoT company because we don't try to monetize the data that we get from cities. On the contrary, we make sure that the cities have access to all the data. They own the data. They actually own the system as well. They have all the freedom, full sovereignty from start. That is what we have been developing since 2013. Not only ownership of data. Sorry, I need to look at that as well every now and then. It's not only about ownership of data, but it's also about making sure that you can build a system in the city that is interoperable, using different components that can share data in between. And for that, it has to be open. Open APIs, open data models, standardized. But that is not how most smart cities look today. Most smart cities today are a number of different smart services. Lights, sewage, water, air quality sensors, bam, bam, bam. It becomes very fragmented, even if the city might have access to data. It's very likely not data in a standardized format. It might not be data real time. It might be data after a while. Many customers try to anyway integrate in between. What happens then is that you avoid GDPR. You have no clue about GDPR anymore when you start doing like that. So we need something different. We are a member of Eurostack. How many in here are aware of Eurostack? None. Take a look, Google it. It's an initiative to start boosting European technology in this area. And obviously, we are a member. We have been developing our platform, as I said, since 2013, based upon our knowledge of how Android works in a mobile phone, because we have a background from developing mobile phones from Sony Ericsson. So we have developed a platform that is a middleware, a sovereign middleware, with one interface that is unifying everything that can be connected in the city. Sensors, actuators, control systems connected to our platform. We give the city full control over this, the data, the access, the configuration, alles. Sorry. Open, sovereign. Of course, our platform is hosted on Swedish cloud providers or on-prem by the customer himself. Once a customer now have control of his data, control of devices, everything, set up his organization, he can start adding applications. He can develop his own applications using the data. He can use AI, or he can use off-the-shelf third-party applications. So our platform basically works as an operating system, an open operating system for any smart city, or the buildings in the city, or the energy companies in the city. We decided a long time ago that we should utilize a European open standard, FireWire. FireWire has been defining the API and has been defining smart data models. Again, all about interoperability. Access to the API so you can access the data. Standardized data models so you can actually interpret the data and the metadata. The platform so far has been mainly used in Sweden. We have quite a number of cities, real estate companies, energy companies in Sweden that are our customers. About 2 years ago, we got a very interesting customer. The west coast of Sweden, 136 different actors. Around 40 cities, around 30 real estate companies, 20 energy distributors, and so forth, have licensed our platform so that they can have a collaboration, they can share data, share insights, and use our platform, building a single, centralized, common infrastructure, network, platform, data. Everyone owns their own data, but they can start sharing data, and by sharing the data, they can digitize and become much smarter. Typical use cases for our platform. To the right, to the right you have the smart city, where the platform actually works as an operating system and you start adding your applications. To the left you have buildings. You use the platform on-prem, on edge, in the building, connecting to the heating system, the ventilation system, all the PLCs and so forth, and then you connect the platform in the building to the platform in the cloud. So you have a distributed edge cloud experience. But we're also working a little bit with verticals, again using our platform, but offering to our customers a complete solution, sensors, platform, and application. An example of that would be tracking. We have equipped the airport in Toronto with about 7,000 trackers. Every wheelchair, every baggage cart, and the small golf carts moving passengers around between gates are equipped with trackers, so that the ground service company have absolutely controlled 24/7 real time where are all baggage carts, wheelchairs, so they can move them back to the parking spaces, and if there are places where they're lacking baggage carts, they can move them so that they always have the right service to the travelers. Not even that, they can also prove to the airport that they have done what they promised to do in the contract and avoid penalties. Another one, we have developed a vertical service for train operators, the holy grail for train operators, according to the customer, which is a British long-haul train operator. Every seat on the train now has a sensor that in real time check if the seat is occupied or not. That goes into their ticket system, and they can automatically resell a ticket if the traveler did not show up, which is actually a very common problem, because most travelers buy an annual ticket and then they just book a seat. And since the booking is pretty much for free, it's very easy to forget to cancel it if you have changed plans. So this is a little bit technical. What I wanted to show here is a platform and the typical middleware or the operating system characteristic of the platform. The platform is a green in the middle, and as you can see, it integrates with all the systems, sensors, networks in the south end at the bottom. There is an open integration layer there, exactly as on a computer. You just upload a device driver for a specific device and it works. If you then look at the top instead, there is an API, standardized API. As long as the city gives access to a service provider, the service provider can just hook into the API and connect to the data and start controlling devices, exactly like an operating system. So, one of the largest challenges is how do we actually make this work, not just do another POC that fails and start again. We always talk about think big, start small, and then scale. And to do that, you need to have a platform that can scale, and that is what we provide. First thing you need to make sure when you have a platform is that you can manage all the digital things that you want to connect. Maybe you start with 10 devices. After a couple of years, you have maybe 10,000 devices. A couple of years later, you might have 1 million devices. You need to select a platform that can handle that. Also, if you look at the West Coast customer I talked about, with 136 different actors, you need to be able to manage organizations, loads of organizations with different roles and access rights. As a customer now, if you have selected a platform that can do that, you are now organized, so you can start doing things. First thing you want to do then is to create dashboards. For every application you like to do, create a dashboard that is specialized for that application. You can have millions, or maybe you shouldn't have, but you can have hundreds of different dashboards. Smart city is not only about data and monitoring data. It's very much about automations, traffic light systems, buildings, obviously, energy grid. You need to have control systems. You need to be able to, if someone presses a button, something over there should happen. When the temperature goes down, something needs to happen. And that could be pretty advanced. The rule engine I showed before is very simplistic, Boolean, if, this, and that. The platform has a built-in AI, and with the built-in AI combined with the rule engine, you can basically automate whatever you like, as advanced as you like. In the platform, you also have a marketplace for data. So you can set up your data set and start sharing that with other actors. Especially again in the West Coast, many actors, 136 actors. They can provide the data sets here and start sharing. But every now and then, of course, you also need to have much more advanced specialized services. So obviously we have a marketplace for third-party services and third-party devices. Now let's come back to this one, West Coast Sweden. What if we could take this concept and try to do the similar thing in Germany? We have a plan for that. The city of Herne have been using our platform for a couple of years now. And they have, or we have together decided to partner up. So Sensative plus the city of Herne will now start to, as I say, start to try to be the missionaries, to start to sell and get more cities that can work in the neighborhood of Herne and then spread it step by step. And the whole intention, of course, is to make sure that Herne have other cities in between. They can utilize different applications, they can share data, and they can be more mature. Time is running out. What we do then, we combine everything we have done in Sweden with what Herne has done, and Herne has done quite a lot during those 2 years. And this will be a very strong proposition. So, strong partnership. Sensative, Herne, utilizing all the things we have done in Sweden, creating a sovereign solution with data sharing, interoperability, and so forth. And the real bold target, once you have a platform in the city used by different real estate companies, energy companies, and so forth, you can start sharing data and do wild things. For example, a digital collaboration between the energy company and the real estate company, so you can utilize the thermal characteristics of buildings as energy batteries. So instead of buying expensive batteries, you use the buildings in the city that you have already to balance your energy grid. That's it. Thank you. Hope to see some of you as my potential customers in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mats, for your presentation. So, wir können wieder auf Deutsch wechseln. Ich wollte gerade auf Englisch weitererzählen, aber das brauchen wir ja jetzt.